Namaskaram, Singapore Choice-ലേക്ക് സ്വാഗതം. ഇന്നത്തെ അതിഥി Mr. V.S. Kumar, Managing Director of Network Couriers, popularly known in Singapore as the Courier King in Singapore. So let us hear about his humble beginnings and how from there he made a huge business empire on his own. So let's hear from Mr. Kumar. Hello, sir. Welcome to Singapore Choice.
Hello.
We all know you as Singapore knows you as the Courier King of Singapore, and we probably start talking to you with thinking about when you were a child and you were growing up. Did you ever think that this is where you will be as in today, where you are today?
I never think that I will become a businessman one day. My parents' imagination and also their wish was, every parents I believe that the son must one day become a doctor, engineer, lawyers. I think my parents also imagined that way, but it never happens. But however, today I became a courier person and running my own business, and this is all because of God's grace.
So if you can tell us a little bit about how this journey began.
It was actually by accident. I involved in an accident during my national service time. After almost finishing the NS in 6 months' time, I actually was traveling on the road towards my camp one morning to reach my camp, and I involved in a major accident. In that major accident, I was actually bedridden for many months in the hospital. And that particular day, I actually supposed to die because it was actually a head-on collision with a lorry. Yeah, but luckily, with God's grace and with my parents' well wishes, I able to recover back, and I started looking for a job after that. And I approached one of my friend to ask him what kind of job I can actually look for, because I still have to go for dressing in my hospital for my wounds. And he suggested to go and work in some company where we can have required for dispatch boys to do 4 or 5 deliveries a day. Then I said, okay, why not? I just for temporary time moment. Then that's where I went for some interviews, and one of these interview, the guy told me that he will be calling me back in 2 or 3 days time. And I waited for him, and he never called me after my interview. So I called him and asked him.
Okay.
Then he told me, Kumar, you only know 2 or 3 places in Singapore, and how am I supposed to employ you and give you the job? So I told him, nobody in this world born with experience. And if you can give me an opportunity, one day I can be an asset to your company. Then he said, okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Then he asked me to start work the next day. So I told my mom that I got a job. So she asked me, what kind of job and where you going to work? So I told her that I'm working for a foreign company. It's called Korean company. It's a courier, not the courier.
As a country.
As a country. So my mom was very happy. During early 80s, if you are working for a foreign company means it's a big deal. So my mom straight away go to temple and do prayers. Then after that, she blessed me, and I started my journey the next day. When I went to the office the morning, and I was given deliveries of I think 10 to 15 deliveries. So I was straight away thinking, oh my God, my friend told me 4 or 5 deliveries, and this guy is giving me so many deliveries. And then he told me, CPF building, and this deliveries is next to each other, CPF building, Singapore Airline House and so on, and he started explaining to me one by one. So I have no choice. I have to take the task what he have given to me, and I pick up. But the problem is I will not know how to go to CPF building from the office which I am actually
On the first day.
On the first day. So what I did, I went back to my home, and I started my journey from there to reach CPF. And from CPF, then I started doing deliveries in CPF port, and then after that Singapore SIA building and Afro Asia building, and so on, one by one. Some places I am not sure, so I asked. I even asked what do you call, the Guruga, who is standing right in front of CPF building. I asked him, he said he is not supposed to open his mouth, so he asked me to just move on. So even go to extent, you know, I even stop a police car to ask, where is this place? My aim is to complete every delivery is given to me. You know, like a mission must be possible. So this is what I started
So I
my
think-
journey as a courier boy.
At what point did you, when you were working, like, again, when did you decide to, okay, I don't need, I will start by myself, I can probably do this by myself and I don't need to do it for someone else?
Almost when I working for this company for almost 4 years, the company which I started with. During the time I got my accident money. That means compensation for the accident.
Okay.
So my father took a case and fight against the lorry man, and then we won the case.
Okay.
So with this money, I was thinking, why don't we start something? Because courier now become my passion. You know, I started without knowing in courier, and with this money, maybe I can start doing something. But it was actually not myself I thought of, but it was instigated by one of my customer. Yeah, he said, Kumar, since you have very good experience and you are doing very well in your courier deliveries and you understand the customer needs and requirement, why don't you start your own? We will support you. So that was actually very encouraging. So this way I start thinking, and then I exchanged these views with my wife. Not my wife. Then she was actually my girlfriend. And she said, it's a good idea. You know, why don't you try? In fact, when I started working in the company, I work as a dispatch boy. I grew from a dispatch rider to become a supervisor. So when I went back to tell her that, you know, I become a supervisor, she said, wow. She encouraged me and she told me, very good, congratulations. But what is next? So I said, next will be the manager. Why don't you try and fight for your manager post? Then eventually when I become a manager, I went to, you know, tell my girlfriend. She said, good. What is next? I said, next I have to take home my boss. She said, yeah, why not?
Wow.
So I said, my God, this is good or no good, I don't know. But eventually, when this thing happens, when I want to open my own company, that really materialized. That one day, that I also can run my own company. But of course, in my early days, I have so many people help me. Without, you know, family support, without, you know, your friends, your colleagues, you can never do a good job. But the family support is the number one. My wife is all the while with me.
And since we are talking about family, and then you have, I mean, your children also are involved, or they have the same inclination. Do you see the same hunger in them to grow? Has the father passed on those genes?
I never have a kind of imagination that, you know, I want to hand over the business to the children, because my business is usually courier business. But this courier business is actually very rough and tough. I don't think my two daughters can able to manage it. But I also started a business for tea business. We are importing tea from India, and it's called Premier's Tea. And this tea is actually one of the best teas which you can taste, and it is actually gourmet tea. I opened the business for them, and today my two daughters are actually managing the tea business
That's
with
great.
a team of managers and people.
So I think we in the various articles that have come in Straits Times and the national dailies about you, I think there's one thing about Network Courier very strongly that you believe and your employees believe is the customer focus. And I think there are numerous examples that have come, like, for you, customer is the king, and their needs have to be met on time. So you have there was once that I think you went in your you actually surprised the customer by delivering something, driving your Rolls Royce down to his house and delivering it, and he was like kind of
He was
shocked.
stunned.
So
yeah, it's true. It's true.
you can talk a little bit maybe
Yeah, yeah.
about that
I mean,
aspect of your company.
when you see, service is actually in my blood. You know, when customer needs, arise, it is my duty to make sure that, even on one Saturday, that is actually happens in one of the Saturday, and the customer called to say that, he need the BL because the ship is going to sail or something like that. He need to take the documents as soon as possible. So I happened to be in the operation on the day, and I happened to see the documents is still there. So I said, yes, I got my document. I mean, I have your documents. So he said, can you bring it to me now? I need it. I said, okay, sure, no problem. So I took the documents. I'm going back. So I dropped to his what you call office in some industrial area, and I delivered to him. So he was actually the boss also himself. He came out to collect the document. And when he saw me driving a Rolls Royce and pulling over at his factory, right in front of his factory, he was actually shocked of his life, and I can see something amazed. So he looked at me and said, your car? I said, yes. Okay, thank you. And then I said, can you please sign in this for acknowledgement? He signed, looking at my face without moving any eyeball.
Yeah.
And
Still
that's
in a
it.
state of
The
shock.
next day, that happens on Saturday. On Monday, my customer called my operations manager and also to my general manager and told, who is this? How come? And who going to do a delivery on the Rolls Royce? I said, then my manager told, it's my boss, so there was. So things like this, there are many, many other things we have also done, but you see, the important is when the moment you have the best interest of the customer, because we are in the service industry.
Yeah.
So this is where, the customer believe in you and they start giving you more and more deliveries.
Yeah.
You see, today we can able to do 14,000 deliveries a day in Singapore,
Yeah.
per day. It's actually it's a very big thing.
Yeah, because obviously you have a team as well, so maybe if we move to your employees. So another very interesting thing we found is that you have the very, very high retention rate of employees. I think the very low turnover. That's again something like if you talk to the industry, that is one of the problems that most companies are facing. So how are you able to keep your employees happy?
Again, it is God grace. All praises must go to God, because they trust me. They believe in me that I can able to navigate this network courier ship to the next level, and they are staying with us. And honestly, I also want to know why. So what I did, we have every month networking night. So what we do, one of the networking night, I actually invited all our dispatch riders, supervisors, managers to stay with us, and who we will usually every month once we buy them dinner, and then we get together and discuss any problems they are facing, how we can manage the problems. So this is the company's culture.
Okay.
And at the same instant, on that particular period, I actually want to know why are they working very long with us. So I asked myself two questions. If I am overpaying them, probably that's why they are working for us. Or if not, they got nothing to do, that's why they're just lazing around. But the answer was not that. So I asked individual staff on that particular day. I said, you are working for me 10 years. You are working for me 15 years. Okay? Why are you working that long with us? And why are you happy with our company? The reason why you're staying with us long, I want to know why. So after gathering all this information from the staff, they only voice out one thing, that is, we trust you. And we trust the company that we work for. And this is the reason why we want to stay with this company. So the moment we know, then we come up with a slogan. Okay? We come up with a slogan is actually driven by passion and trust and relationship. So that became our company's slogan. eventually.
And another interesting thing about Network Courier is that you've also been like ahead of the game in terms of using technology for your tracking system and apps and things like that. So maybe a bit of a background around that. And I also heard from you some of them, like even you designed some of the software for that.
Yes,
so.
yes. Today, in this world, when I started the time, there's no computers. When I started my business 1990, there's no computers. So we solely have to depend everything on manual basis. Manually we have to sort our documents. Even telephone directories, we have to keep writing all the customers' names, and then we have to put in the alphabetic basis, the index book, and then we have to, if it is a Billington, we have to, straight away go to B and then check on the Billington and then start calling the customers. But that also I try to find a way to program the company's telephone number by looking at the telephone, and we can actually move with the movements. But all that not going to help us in long run. So what can we do? Then came the computer. The computer era have started, and so many things is happening. And then we started with programming our own website. Singapore have opened up website 1992, then we started. So my first computer we purchased in 1992. It is a 286 computer, okay? And I still can remember the printer I bought is a Epson LQ101. Because so expensive I buy during that time, it's few $1,000s. But of course everything is now very cheap. But that's where you started understanding the computer, how the computer can able to sit in to help your processes. And I start developing an understanding, and I read a lot of computer books to see how the computer can actually help us manage our business better. Okay, so I started employing computer programmers. They come and join us. They give us some ideas. Then I started planning a program. This program is actually designed by myself. Very simple. I design very simple things, like whatever difficulties all I've gone through, I program it. Whatever cannot be answered, I program it. So I call my programmers. We design the whole thing, and they help us to do the programming. We employ people from overseas, and they do it. Today, our program is one of the largest program. It's a complete ERP solution we have built.
Okay. We also heard about that app, the new application called Rapido.
Yes, yes. You see, what I was just telling you about is the start of the computer era. But today, over the years, has improved and increased, and today everything has changed. Today you can see, there's apps development. You can know about people can able to, on the move can able to use phone. It is all the praises must go to Steve Jobs, who have started, Apple computer and Apple iPhone, and today everybody can use, everything. Even now today you can able to do a booking of our customer want to send our deliveries. They can actually book through the apps, and they can actually send the information. The information will come to our server. Then the server will go to the nearest person who is on the road today, able to pick up the documents.
It's a tracking.
No, it is actually operational system where the customer can able to send the information of what document they want us to pick up and collect and deliver. So when the moment they send the information to the apps, then the apps will send the information to the server. The server will now pick up who is the nearest person of my man who is
can take that.
Can take these documents and pick up. Then after that, when the moment they able to pick up, they will say yes, and document will be picked up. So today, without any human interaction, we can able to do a pickup within few minutes. Where the customer was amazed, because all this happening in the computer world.
Talking about the future growth, like where do you see your company growing in the different groups?
As you know that now there's a lot of new technology has arrived, and also the disruptive services have also started, like the Uber or Grab cars. These are the people who come up with the new technologies, and they can able to serve the customers better. So the same way we also have started doing Rapido. Rapido means is actually speed and fast. So we have started this company to do our e-commerce delivery services. We have so many incoming overseas shipments where customers need the documents to be delivered efficiently and faster manner. And of course, they also want to save their costs. So we try to find new solutions, and by giving them efficient deliveries and so on. Yeah.
ഹൗസ് ബ്രാൻഡ് കഴിഞ്ഞ 60 വർഷമായി സിംഗപ്പൂരിന്റെ തനത് രുചിക്കൂട്ടുകൾക്കും സ്വാദിനും ഒപ്പമാണ്. ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഓരോ ഉൽപ്പന്നങ്ങളുടെയും വാസനയും ഗുണമേന്മയും നഷ്ടപ്പെടാതിരിക്കാൻ ക്രയോജനിക് സാങ്കേതികവിദ്യ ഉപയോഗിച്ച് ഞങ്ങളുടെ തന്നെ ഫാക്ടറിയിൽ തയ്യാറാക്കി പാക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നു. ഹൗസ് ബ്രാൻഡ്, തനത് സ്വാദിന്റെ സംതൃപ്തി.
സ്വർഗമില്ല, നരകമില്ല, ഒറ്റ ജീവിതം. അതെവിടെ എങ്ങനെ വേണമെന്ന് അവനവൻ തീരുമാനിക്കണം.
ഇതൊക്കെ ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ടാവോ?
നീ വായിക്ക്.
ഉള്ളി, വെളുത്തുള്ളി, പെരുംജീരകം ആൻഡ് കുടം,
കൊടംപുളി.
അതെല്ലാം വേണം.
ഇതെല്ലാം ഉണ്ട്.
എവിടെ ഉണ്ടെന്നാ?
കാർത്തികയിലുണ്ട്. നിങ്ങളുടെ സംതൃപ്തിയാണ് ഞങ്ങളുടെ സന്തോഷം. കാർത്തിക സൂപ്പർ മാർക്കറ്റ്.
ഒരുപാട് സ്ഥലത്ത് പോയി ട്രൈ ചെയ്തു, എന്നാൽ ഒരു റിസൾട്ടും കിട്ടിയില്ല. അവസാനം എന്റെ സ്കാൽപ് ഇഷ്യൂര് സുലു സ്റ്റൈലിലെത്തി. ഇവിടെ എന്റെ പഴയ ഭംഗിയുള്ള മുടി തിരികെ കിട്ടി. ഞാൻ വിശ്വാസത്തോടെ ഇവിടെ വരുന്നു. നിങ്ങൾക്കും വരാം.
Zulu Style Salon with best reviews in town.
So, sir, we spoke a lot about your business and how it's the plans and all. Let's take it a lighter turn. So, what do you do when you're not working? So, what's your hobbies and interests?
I never a day never work. It's never happens. One thing about me, I always believe, work is actually not. I never take work as a work. I take work as my passion. So if it is a passion, then whatever you do is actually you enjoy it. See, I like horses. The reason why I like horses is because horse is the only animal, till the day it dies, it will keep running and running and running. I also one day I want to be like that, keep running till the day I die. So that is my aim as a courier.
As an entrepreneur yourself, and with regard to the journey that you have made for so far, what would be your advice to the youngsters who want to start something on their own? Like, what's that needed for that hunger? How to bring that?
First, they have to dare to dream.
Yes.
And you must not worry about dare to fail also, because how much you want to dare to dream, you also must understand the failures. See, every business you start, you can never succeed completely immediately. Sometimes you must learn how to cut your losses, stop. You must learn when to stop and go on with new ventures, or go back to work and understand further how to do better. And then you can actually have more experience. See, today I will advise all entrepreneurs, before you start your business, learn how to do a business. Have your planning, have your model written down, and you must know when you have to stop or when you have to start. Without you knowing all this, if you fail, at least you know when you will stop. But if you succeed and if you win, then you are going towards the higher mountains. That will be good. So, learn how to understand the meaning of dare to dream and dare to fail.
Yeah. That's
Thank you.
excellent. I think all our youngsters do need those words and words of wisdom. So thank you very much, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Nice talking to you.